Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I am Kerry Ann and this is Equilibrium Collective, and I am joined this evening with my co-host Sarah. Good evening and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Kerry Ann. And I don't know. What's that? Collective, and I'm with.
Sorry, that was me in the background.
What's going? Oh, well, a double intro. That's good. We've got it. We always love a glitch. Love a glitch. The best thing.
Gremlin.
Thank you. Yeah. So, thank you. Hi, Jess. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. If you're joining us now, if not, then good morning, good afternoon, good evening when you are. This evening, we're being joined with April Busset. She is a celebrity medium, but she is also an investigator. She has been within the field for a long time. So we're going to introduce April.
Hi, April. Yay! We finally get to see each other.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. It's really, I've been really excited for this interview. Actually, I've been quite excited about doing this with you. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on.
Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome.
I love all the accents, right? We got the Jersey accent, the British accent.
Yeah, international in one show. We've got this, and girls are doing it for themselves. The girls at Paranormal is always the best. So I love that.
I love it.
So
I love that the girls are into this.
Huh?
I love that the girls are into this.
Oh, right. So when I first started, there wasn't very many. I've been doing this for about 10 years now, and there was never that many girls that were involved. And slowly but surely, you're seeing more women within the paranormal field, and they're being taken seriously, which is always also fantastic, because obviously that wasn't always the case. It is a very male-populated kind of.
Badasses.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That is it. Yes, I love it. So and also I know it's, I don't know, it's the jury is out in it, but I really do feel like the remake of Ghostbusters did us a turn.
Yeah,
the girl investigators,
exactly.
with all the scientific equipment. I was like, yes, girl, do it for us. So yes.
Oh God, you love the equipment. The equipment's great.
Right. Yes. So yes, we're here. So tell us a little bit about you, please, if that's okay.
Okay, let's see. I'm a psychic medium. I do remote viewing. I'm also a shaman. I started out like I didn't start investigating when I was a kid, but I found out I had abilities when I was around 4, when my deceased father appeared in front of me. So, and then all hell broke loose. I had like spirits coming in from miles and miles away. So it was crazy growing up like that. And then, as I got older and I was able to pick up on what's going on in people's lives, like, I would be sitting next to someone. And I remember I was at a, now I'm in my teens, at a bar with my girlfriends, and I'm sitting next to this girl, and I turned around to her and I said, "Who's Joe?" And she goes, "That's my boyfriend." I'm like, "Why do you let him hit you?" And she starts crying, and I'm like, "Oh wow, I'm onto something here." So so it's pretty cool. So, but I don't do that all the time. Now I like to just go out.
Yeah, no, that's really, I mean, I think when anyone comes into their own power or into their own gift, it is a really kind of, you really re-identify yourself and trying to align with what's coming in, really.
Yeah, exactly. And like I hit it like, just my close friends knew, but then people that did hear about me would call me up to come to the house, getting calls, my house is haunted. So that's how I started doing the investigation part. So, I mean, I was doing it for years, like over 20 years. And one day I'm like, you know what? I really should get people to come with me, in case something happens. Because some of my cases have been a little hairy, like where I've been attacked, pushed or scratched. I said, I think I should have people with me. So
yeah, that's a good move. That's a good step forward. That.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
when you say
somebody with you.
Yeah. So when you said things have got a bit hairy, like, is there a situation or a time that you can think of where you thought maybe this is, I need an extra one?
Oh, well, you know what? It started when I was a kid, like after my dad came in. I always said like wherever there's a spirit, the other spirits can see the other spirits, and there's going to be more spirits that come in. It gets more technical because over the years I've learned others, like there's always one spirit that's always at every haunting I go to where there's a bunch of spirits. Maybe I'll get into that later. It's crazy. I found that out at the haunted Shanley Hotel like years ago. But yeah, I had some really, along with the good ones, I had some bad ones that were like terrorizing me. They were like pushing me, scratching me, pinching me, and just they would like I would be fast asleep in bed, and I'm just a kid, and they would mimic my mom's voice.
Wow.
And you've seen this in movies too, where they do that.
Mm.
And I would get up out of my sleep to look for my mom, like, because it sounded like my mom really needed me. So I'm like, where are you, Mom? And I'm in the pitch black. They would always get me to the point. It was almost like I was in a trance, and I would wake up at the foot of, at the top of the stairs, and they wanted me to fall down the stairs. So it's funny. Like, after I caught on to that, they started going into my dreams. Like real, like Freddy Krueger type, so, and it would make me dream that I could fly too. So that fly down the stairs. So I tried doing this as a kid. I'm like, hey, I could fly, So that's how I realized that they were really, I had to learn to control this and stand up to them because they were really taking over my life at nighttime. It was always at nighttime, of course, the bewitching hour. Not that things didn't happen day, but all hell breaks loose at nighttime. And I'll tell you, to this day, I still sleep with the lights on because
I suppose at night, that's when we're at our most vulnerable, I suppose.
Well, you know what? I have to have the TV on because, like, ever since I met my husband, I said, listen, I have to sleep with the TV on. I know people don't do that. I said, because once my mind quiets, I can hear the voices, I can hear the talking. Then if the lights go off, I could start seeing. I see better at, in the dark. So I guess because she's shutting down all the senses. So I see and I start hearing the voices. I hear conversations, and I'm like, all right, I can't do this. So now I sleep with the TV on and the lights on.
There is a theory in this. So when we go into that state of altered state where we're not asleep but we're not awake, when the body's asleep but the mind's still going. So there's a theory that what actually happens is when we go into that state, our vibration rises, and it's that allows them to then communicate with us because of the yeah.
Absolutely. You're going into that alpha state, that trance-like state. Because I know sometimes in my readings, I'll kind of trance out, like when I'm really honing in on something and into a spirit, I'm like, and I'm brought into that level with them. And it's kind of funny. You could see, like, when I do, like, I did it right the first time that he saw me investigate, like, where I just kind of zone out. And then I start talking really fast. It's not like even my voice.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird. But yeah, I'm going to sleep with the lights on and the TV.
Yeah. See, that's what I was
scary entities, like really creepy.
Yeah, so I think that's one thing that I've come across. It's a bit of a conundrum when I speak to people about investigating, and I say, but I still sleep with the hallway light on. And they're like, wow, you're not afraid of the dark. It's not that I'm not afraid of the dark. I just know what's in the dark. I know what's there.
Exactly. I don't mind because I want to see them. I want to connect with them. I could see them better in the dark, I think they're more comfortable within the shadows, especially if they're a darker spirit. Well, the earthbounds are kind of darker, so they lurk more in the darkness. Now, they can't do this during the day because, we've seen that too. But more evidence in the dark.
So what was your first sort of, like, what was the first thing you learned to protect yourself from all this sort of like mental intrusion and sensory overload?
Yeah. You know what? Thank God, I'm pretty tough. I'm strong-willed personality. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not taking this anymore. I am not taking this crap from you. So I would kind of like go at them, and they start, because they feed on your fear. Because I was petrified. Because I had so many spirits in my house that, like, that I was able to see them, and like they would like this was the tall guy with the hat that they talk about. I had that guy too.
Yeah.
He would always come and he would stand at the, I would hear him walk, and then he would stand at the door and just stare at me, and I would just like stare back at him. I'm like, all right, we're gonna have like a staring contest here. Yeah. I'm not afraid of you anymore.
Yeah, so we've had the shadow people and the shadow hat man. Terry, another presenter on our channel, she done her show on the shadow hat man. She actually wrote a story, a book based on her experiences with this entity, and she says herself that these are different types of entities that come in and they all have different purpose, but in the shadow hat man in particular is quite a dark entity, isn't he?
Yeah. They're all different. And it's funny that we all see the same thing. Like, I'll tell you the scariest thing, like as a child, when this first started, the scariest thing I saw is like, I woke up in the middle of the night because now I can't sleep. Like I just don't sleep well because of going through this my whole life, being woken up. Like I still get woken up, but I have put boundaries up that nobody can, wake me up unless it's an emergency. But you have the ones that sneak through. Like my neighbor died, and she woke me up the night she died. Oh. So then I have a 2-family home. My tenant passed away. She woke me up the night she died, and that was the scariest thing because she actually screamed in my ear. She was screaming in my ear, and I'm like, slow down! I can't understand what you're saying. Like. And I didn't realize it was her. And I'm like, that voice sounds so familiar. But it's crazy with these different types of entities. The one that I have realized over the years, I encountered at the Haunted Shanley Hotel a few years back, and that one scared the heck out of me. It only affects mediums. Like a regular person will not sense it because over the years, because I'm always at the Haunted Shanley, I've done so many events there. I watch people in this location to see how they react. And there's only 2 of us. It was me and this other psych from UK that saw the exact same thing, except mine, it looked a little scary. It had a bloody face, but it made us sick. When I was there, I saw him and he let me know that he's the boss. And he kind of vibrated so quickly that it penetrated my auric field, which usually nobody can do. It was pretty frightening. That I was sick for about a week. I had to cancel all my appointments, and every time I go back there, I'm like, I feel him, I see him. I'm like, I'm not messing with you. You do your thing. Like I say, like I was telling my husband, if I wasn't married and have a child, then I go back at him. But you know what? I don't want anything to affect these 2. So yeah, but that one, I'm going to tell you what he is. I realized, so after I ran up the stairs and I'm like, because I felt sick, I'm sitting there and I see him again, and he lets me know that he is there for like the bad earthbound entities that are at this place. So like, oh, and then all of a sudden it made me think. I started going back, back to all the investigations I've done, even the residentials and the personal ones. I have always sensed this same entity at every location I've been at. And I realized what his purpose, he thinks his purpose is because he's there they try to stop the certain souls from crossing over. I don't know if they feed off of them. I don't know what they're trying to do with them. I don't necessarily believe like there's a hell. I just think there's different levels,
Yeah.
Dimensions.
I have seen this, and it really goes in levels. And, the lowest level sucks. So you don't want to go there. But I don't know its purpose. I didn't really get into it with him. Talking to him too long makes me sick. So, but the other medium picked this up too. But I'm going to tell you something. This is funny. My last event, and it was with Mustafa. We were just there at the end of March. He saw him. So I said, Mustafa, then you must have gifts because only mediums will be able to see this or feel him. Other than that, nobody's going to be affected by this guy. So it's funny.
Wow. That's really
interesting. And he goes, it's funny. Brandon Alvis said the same thing to him. And I said, yeah, you definitely have some type of gifts that you were able to see this.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So You talk about your event that you did previously. You have some coming up. Tell us a little bit about your events and kind of where you go and who you work with.
I work for Flammary Promotions. You know Ray.
Ray, I love Ray.
No,
Yes.
I love Ray. Everyone
So
loves
cute.
Ray. But Ray, he's got the best talent in the business. He's got me, of course, number one. Right, Ray? No. Marston, of course, Mustafa, Rob Demarest, all from Ghost Hunters. So we've got a really good lineup. Chris Sutton, he's a fellow shaman. So, he was at the event with us too. It was pretty cool. He did a little shamanic ceremony for us with a drumming ceremony. So we had a great time. But it was hairy. It's funny because at the Shanley, I had another incident. I remember the first time I was there, I went with a group of friends. And they're all in the room. Everyone goes to one room to see the kids. And I'm not feeling it. And I kept being drawn down the hall to this room. So now I could feel myself trancing out. So I go off on my own. I go into this room and I walk in there and this woman comes at me and she's screaming at the top of her lungs. And I'm like, stop screaming. I'm saying to myself, why are you screaming so loud? So the cameraman I had with me, he comes behind me and I said, oh my God, tell her to stop screaming. I'm like, and he's looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, you can't hear that. Like, it was so loud. She's screaming at the top of her lung. She's screaming at the windows and she's screaming. And then she tries to jump me. I'm like, oh, hell no, you're not jumping me. But wow. I know it's crazy. But I talked to the owner, Kelly, and there was a woman that did, I think she kind of, went crazy after a few years. I think the guy she was waiting for had died in the war. She went crazy and would scream out the windows and just scream all day long.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but I'm like, how can nobody hear this? It was like so loud to me.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're at this event. So I'm with Mustafa and we're upstairs and we have a group with us. And me and Mustafa are like by the doorway and we're like around the corner is that room. So I haven't told him about this room yet. And he keeps hearing noises. We're hearing noises. So I see him step out the doorway and he's looking down the hallway by this door. And I see him jump back. He's like, holy shit. And it's like, he comes back in. He goes, I'm looking. And I thought I'm seeing my shadow, and he's tall. And he goes, but the shadow walked away and walked away.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, so we had good stuff. We got some good EVPs. Ray got his name called.
Oh, wow, okay. Well, that's really good.
I know we did another event. I did another event with Mustafa, and we were at the Berkeley Plantation in Virginia. And I'm in the middle of talking and telling him how this guy is walking in. I see this man. He used to work here. He's a worker. Da, da, da. And with that, all of a sudden, the door opens and closes. Wow. So now Ray goes back to look over the footage and it gets an EVP. As that door's opening, you hear a man go, "Get out now."
Oh, wow.
I know, but it's funny. Now, Mustafa comes in later on, like a half hour later with his team, and they capture the same voice saying the same thing. Get out now. Except his door.
Oh. That's amazing.
I know, it is.
We'll have to drop the links to Ray's events in the chat. I'm not sure if Laura can go do that.
Mary Promotions. And, I'm sorry. So, and then my website too, intuitiveapril. I keep cutting you off.
No, please. No.
We're pushy.
Sorry. I don't mean to.
Right.
Yeah,
is he here? Is he in the chat?
I don't know. I don't think he is. I don't think he's we have a few people in here. We have Simon. Thank you, Simon, for joining us. We also have one more makes four Wolf. And Michael Sarah is here. Sarah. He says hello.
Michael was with us at the family.
Oh, really?
Yes. Michael's seen a lot of entities too. Michael's quite gifted himself.
That's amazing. I definitely want to see some of this evidence. I definitely want to see the door open and shut and say,
that's crazy. I think we get the footage. I was like so into the EVP. I love EVPs. I just got a new
I love
recorder.
an MVP.
Do you? Wait,
I love it. I can't get
got
enough.
this. Not that I don't work with these people, but I just got this because I was talking to Brandon and I said, what's the best recorder? And he told me about this one. I just ordered it on Amazon and I just got it the next day. So I'm so excited. I can't wait to use this. I might use it tonight.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes, and makeup, isn't it?
I live right next to the cemetery.
Oh, that's even better.
If I open my window, you can see the cemetery. But you know what? Let me tell you a little secret. Nobody's there. I was like, aren't you scared? I'm like, the last place you're gonna go when you die is where your body is in the cemetery.
Yes.
There's nothing going on.
No, I say the same thing when people go investigating. I love cemeteries. I think they're so beautiful. And there's a few in the UK. So we have Canuden Church in Essex that has a lot of history with witches and witchcraft, and we have Pluckley Woods, which has a church and a cemetery there. So there is cemeteries that I know that have got really like steep history, and you go and it just feels like you're walking through like sludge. It's so thick, the energy. So, but in general,
well, you know what, there are. I'm telling you, I just did a reading a couple weeks ago, and it was funny. Wait, I can't remember exactly. I remember where this lady lost her fiance, and I said, he keeps telling me there's a woman there with her that's your aunt, and that she's next to him or buried near him, like if you go down 3 spots, her aunt was buried 3 spots from him.
Oh wow.
But she hangs out at the cemetery. And I told her, I said she crossed over, but she goes back to, it's like she likes to greet people, like the new, I know, she's so sweet. She's like, anyone that knew in the cemetery.
That's amazing. I know. Yeah, I think there's only been what we've had, like I said, Canuden Church in Essex. That's quite an infamous church. It's very hard to get into, and they shut the gates at dusk because people come from all over to do investigations there. And there's so much.
How do you get in there? Like, do you have permission? Or maybe donate?
I tell you what I didn't do. Was I waited until there was a service. I didn't do that. And just before the service started, I didn't go in the church and have a look around while no one else was in there and then wander around. That's what I didn't do. So that's the only.
I don't advise anyone doing that, and I know you would never do that, but that's absolutely brilliant if you were ever to do it.
if I was, but I'm not going to. But and it's a fantastic location. The history is it's amazing, and it's got lots of witch links to that particular place. As much as Pendle Hill is more commonly known in the UK, but Canuden Church. So yes, I have I am actually a descendant from Alice Nutter. So I know. I'm so happy about it. I'm not gonna lie. I know.
My DNA test.
Yes, it is amazing. So so I know that churchyards, by a rule of thumb, I wouldn't recommend people go and investigate them, but you do get the odd links there.
You know what? Yeah, exactly. Because it's funny, like this woman that I read it, and I was like, wow, when I was reading her, I'm seeing this woman walk around, and I'm like, she's so sweet, and I'm like, she hangs out there. So there's got to be some people that hang out there that just, look at all the evidence that's been caught in cemeteries. Too, and pictures too. That's pretty amazing. Yeah. I just people aren't scared because, like, when they come to my house, I'm like, nobody's there. I'm like, don't worry.
It's safe.
They're gonna come to the house. I'm like, no, I have this house blocked off. It's like everybody locked. Nobody's coming in.
That's it. It's like a womb. That's how I call mine. That's like, nope, it's womb-like in my house. Nothing's coming in. Yeah. No, I understand. So you've worked with the Holster Files. We've done an interview with David Schrader.
It's great. I just talked to him because I know he's they're doing where I did the first season at the Lambert Castle here in New Jersey, which was friggin' cool as hell. But now the producers called me. I guess they heard about me, but they wanted people that had experiences there. And I'm like, I've never been there, but I'm on the phone with them. I said, I'm going to tell you when I'm picking up. And it's funny because I wrote this all down on my phone. And like when you write notes, it timestamps it. So even if I was to go back and change it, it'll change the date. But I have the date that I timestamped all this as I was talking. And I picked up, I'm like, all right, listen, I'm telling you, I'm seeing a woman in white, like a long white dress. And I'm seeing her outside on the grass. She's coming from a tree and she goes up to the stone wall where this man is. I said, but the man disappears. And I said, and then she's like, she's confused and she disappears. So I'm like, holy cow. I'm like, all right. So I said, listen, let me go there and see, what I get. So I take her right up there. And that's the time I was, working. So I got there after they had closed. So I couldn't get inside. But I'm walking around and I'll be damned. I found the tray and the wall, the stone wall. I'm like, holy shit, this is it. And so I'm walking. All of a sudden I hear this woman crying. So I said, oh my God. And I'm like, this woman's crying uncontrollably. And I'm like, I'm a mom. I know she's crying over a loss of a child. Now, because I do the remote viewing, all of a sudden, like I am in this room with her. Like I'm brought into this room and I'm standing in front of her and she has her head down. She's like an older woman, dark hair in a bun and black dress with the white collar. And she looks up at me and she goes, I'm not who they think I am. And I'm like, oh, I got you. I think everyone thought this woman was the lady in white. This woman, this older woman that was crying is Mrs. Lambert.
Oh.
And so now fast forward, I go to film the show with Dave Schrader. As soon as I walk in, I meet Shane Pittman. He is an absolute doll. I didn't get to meet Cindy because she had filmed earlier, but I met Cindy about a month later at another event. But so I'm going around the stairs with the producers. They're bringing me up to Dave. And as we're turning the corner, there's a windowsill and there's a picture there. And I said, oh my God, I grabbed the producer. I said, this is the woman I saw. It was this woman, this beautiful woman in a white dress. It was a wedding dress. He goes, that's Isabella Lambert, Mrs. Lambert's daughter. So now we go, Dave's interviewing me and I'm telling my story. And they take us to the picture and he goes, April, he goes, this is Isabella Lambert. That's Mrs. Lambert's daughter. She also passed away. Mrs. Lambert outlived all her children.
Oh.
So she was crying over the loss of children. She had lost all her children. So it's funny now. They go to do the investigation another day. It's him, Cindy, and Shane, and you hear the woman crying from the bedroom I was in. Now, not really, I've never got into the place, but remotely, I was in this room with this woman when she was crying and told me that she wasn't the one. It was crazy. It was pretty crazy.
That's amazing.
So now I drive up there all the time. They have because they own all this land up there, that castle. So there's a lookout place. It's a huge park now too behind the castle. So you can go there. You can oversee it's beautiful, beautiful.
Oh, it sounds it.
So we're trying to get in there for an event, maybe. So
yeah, definitely, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be amazing.
You were saying that you are a shaman,
yes,
as well. I know some of the people that watch our shows, they're very intrigued by shamanism, witchcraft, that sort of thing. So do you think you could sort of elaborate a little bit about what that's about?
I'm going to tell you what I can tell you because it is
it's very closed, isn't it?
It's very sacred. It's sacred things. And I'm part of a tribe. I have a chief.
Mm-hmm.
So because I know a lot of people read books and become shamans that way, but I actually belong to a tribe, so I have to keep all my teachings sacred. But I use it for protection too. So when I do go on locations, I will protect the people I am with too with this. But it's just honoring the earth. I work with with the air, the land, everything. It's all one, but it also helps with readings too. So you know, and animals too. Like I have such a connection with birds. Like I know the certain birds that come here that are giving me certain messages. There's some I don't like that I will throw rocks at. And I'm like, get out of here. I know why you're here. Now this one that comes and usually like it's bad news. I'm like, get out of here.
I don't want your news.
But you know what? Shamanism, you know, it raises our psychic abilities too, because we're working with the shadow side of things. So like I always said, you know what? As a shaman, we work behind the scenes to protect everyone, and we work on the dark side. So we walk through the dark to make sure that the light continues on everyone. So when everything bad's going on in the world, we are in the background really trying to work our magic. So just like I think everyone, we all have that in us. So
yeah. The one thing that I was fascinated with Hans Holzer, and we actually got introduced by doing our research with Hans Holzer to Sybil Leek as well. He used a lot of his witchcraft and rituals and stuff like that with his research, which was really pioneering. Even today, you know, parapsychologists or people that work within the parapsychologist field tend not to be straying far from the scientific methods of measurement, and he really kind of changed the game a little bit with that as well, didn't he?
I know, it's great, you know, because I like that they use like, listen, we know this fakes out there, you know, like you know, when I do my show, I do live readings, and you know, I'll have these fake ones come on, you know, like messaging the people. I'm like, do not answer them, they're going to scam me out of money. But you know, it gives us a bad name. But I'm so glad he brought it in, just like, you know, the Holzer files used in a psychic, you know, some shows I've seen, I'm not going to name them, but I've seen them use some psychics, and they kind of like, I could see they're making a joke out of it. So, but you know, they get the one in the garb and everything, you know, like I'm so normal looking, like, you know, like even like, what do you like when people ask me what I do? I'm like, I'm an accountant.
Yeah, no one asks questions about accounting. That is true. No one asks questions about accounting.
I don't want to get into it because you know, because I learned every time I would do that. Oh, really? Tell me the lottery numbers.
Yeah. Or what am I thinking? Yeah. Or what am I thinking right now? It's like,
yeah, exactly. Do you see my dead grandma?
Work like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not happy with you at all. No.
I'll have to remember that one.
I got to I have readings after this, but sometimes I'll pick up stuff. Has anyone had an issue with clocks stopping, or would know like a B name, like a Bernard or Bernie? I don't know if it was someone from here or if it was going to be my next reading. This happened to me the other day.
It's me.
It's you?
Mm.
All right. You know the name?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because he was saying something about the clock, making the clock stop.
Yeah, my clock fell off the wall.
Oh.
And now I've got a clock within a clock. It's really weird.
Okay. He says he's sorry, but he's like, he called himself out. He goes, he didn't mean it. He's like, I'm the clock stopper.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I was working out. I'm doing my walk, and I'm like, he's like, I'm the clock stopper. I'm like, well, that's a really weird name.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, because I don't really want to scare anyone, but I'm giving you the evidence that you want.
Yeah,
okay.
That makes sense.
So I want you to know that I'm there. Also, somebody's been going through a hard time. Like I feel like somebody's been sad over something, and that's what brings him around even more.
Okay.
Right? So I feel like somebody's upset. Like who has wait? And then I'm seeing like something with a small child. I don't know if this is you as a small child knowing them. Okay.
Yeah. But I also have
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. And you have a child, right?
Yeah.
All right, because I feel like I'm protecting the child too. I'm protecting the child. He's protecting the child too.
Okay.
Not he's scared. I'm sorry, and I'm gonna tell him he's got to knock it off. Like, you know, it's a little because it's a little scary, you know.
Yeah. No.
Okay. All right. So, all right. It was for you.
Thank you. That's very kind. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
clock stopper. He goes, I'm the clock stopper.
Yeah, yeah. So I have a clock within a clock now, and I was having lots of palavers with my clock. So yeah, it makes sense. But thank you, I really appreciate that.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm glad that was for you.
No, thank you. How do you find working with your mediumship in the paranormal field? Do you feel that it?
I'm more
Is it?
comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
With there's no expectations, there's no pressure, because when I do because I don't only just do mediumship, I also I love doing my psychic work, like where people want to know their future, because I'm like a therapist, like I'm like a psychic therapist, a psychic mom, because I yell at people.
Love that. Psychic mom.
That's the best.
You could be our psychic mom.
I'm like yelling at people. I'm like, would you freaking knock it off? I'm like, but the mediumship, I love doing this because there's no pressure. So I actually, before I go to a location, I don't like to know where I'm going, except when it's with Flamery. Of course, I have to know where I'm going, but I don't like to know any information. Don't tell me anything. Usually I'll go, don't tell me anything, and I pick it up before I go prior, and I usually do my remote viewing. So I did, my friend called me up and, listen, I'm going to take you somewhere they have an issue. I said, all right, they picked me up. I don't know where I'm going. So I'm on the phone with them and I said, listen, I'm hearing suicide. And I know there's been a lot of suicides here. And my friend goes, how the hell do you know that? There was like 6 suicides at this place.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's pretty hairy.
Oh, yeah.
Hairy. So that's what I do. So I'll pick up stuff remotely,
And do you find as well, like when you, like you said before, when you go on investigations and you have different entities that you work with, and how that impacts you sometimes?
I'm going to tell you this. I was just talking to my chief about this, because everyone uses guides and everything. I don't have any guides. I'm like, I don't have guides. I have one guide that I know of. I'll use different people will come in and out that I'll talk to that I know that are past and give me a little bit of information, but they don't stay with me or they're hiding. But I have one that I met. God, I think I wasn't even married yet. I would always feel this really big woman with me, like 7 feet tall woman. So I'm like, not that I felt scared of her or anything, but I'm like, I know she's with me. And I would tell I remember coming home one day. This is like probably 20 years ago. And I remember going to him. I said, listen, there's a really tall woman following me. And I said, I don't know who she is. So one day I'm driving and all of a sudden I feel this big hand on my leg while I was driving. And I said, all right, I got you. I took my foot off the gas and started to slow down. As I did that, a car came out. If I was still at that same, I would have been T-boned. I would have been dead. So she's my protective guide. She doesn't tell me shit, but she always lets me know. She'll give me little pushes, little this, grab my hand so I know. But I know, I'll just say, before I go into places, she protects me. And she blocks other people from, other entities coming near me.
Yeah. So do you have, spirit animals that work with you as well?
No, but I've seen animals. Yeah, I do see.
Okay.
I know. And I'm gonna tell you. See, being a shaman, I should have all this, and I don't. But I've done where we've done what we call journeys, and where we go to different places, and meet our guides. We meet our animal spirits. Like mine was a mouse. I have a mouse. Okay, as cool as that's. I know. I remember doing this. I went to this group meditation thing where we were going to find our spirit animals, and everyone's like, "I'm an eagle, I'm a panther," and I'm like, "I'm a mouse."
I'm a mouse.
And it's funny. We had to do this meditation where we had to go somewhere where I forgot where they were sending us, but we had to go through this doorway where the person that was guarding this doorway, the doorkeeper, would have to ask us to let us in. And I know as I was coming up with my spirit animal, the guy just let me go through. And I said, see, the mouse gets through everywhere. I'm like, he's just told everyone had to stop, and see if they would get let in. But it's pretty cool. But I do pick up animals a lot. I'm sorry about that. People send us.
That's
That's okay.
But
Yeah.
yes, I do. During readings, I will pick up certain animals too. I during one of my live readings, a cat walked across my desk. Not that anyone saw it, but I'm like, all right, who just lost a calico cat? Because there's a cat here with me, and this woman that was on just lost her calico cat.
Oh,
And I even got the name of it. I forgot the name of the cat. Just say Sam. You know, I said I said I'm getting the name Sam, but it was cute. It was sad though too. The animals always stick around. They're so
that's
good.
so reassuring, because I've recently, well, I say recently, like 3 years ago now, lost my dog, and it broke my heart.
No, it is. I don't. I have a dog too. I don't even want to think about it.
No. It's just one of those things. Just don't go there.
Exactly.
So we could talk all night. We've been 40 minutes already. But
Wow,
yeah. What I wanted to do is we actually had some evidence that was sent over to us, and we wanted to kind of show you and also air it on our show, and we would love to get your impressions on it. Love it. So we we have to again get back to the trying to get us all in and
bear with
screen
me.
stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Bear with me. Still going.
Bear with me, caller.
Right, ready?
Yes.
Welcome to Equilibrium Collective. We've received this video from one of our viewers. The lady's identity is obscured for her privacy. There are a few dust particles floating about. But what is this?
That's great. Oh my
Did you
God.
see it?
Yes.
We'll show it
I
again.
saw that. You know, I'm going to tell you. There's a female and a male there too. It's two entities.
It's crazy. That's like amazing.
Female and a male.
So what actually happened is I have a friend, and this friend happens to go to the same place I do every day. And she said to me, I know you're into ghosts. I have this video. It's been sent to me by my neighbor. They have no idea how they do this. They've just seen this and they've sent it over to me. Tell me what you think. And they sent it. She sent it to me, and they're an elderly couple, and she's mature lady like myself, and none of them had ever complained about anything paranormal. There's been no reports there. It just they caught this, and it was absolutely blowed our mind.
All right, that's your friend that was sleeping?
No, that is someone that was in. It was end of life care.
End of life.
Okay, all right, because I was going to say she passed it, because I feel like this is the parents coming through to cross.
Wow.
Also, I don't know if that person had a daughter that passed or a sister. I get like a sister-daughter feeling, because not only there's definitely a female. That's that main piece that you see. That's the female. There's also a male there too, but I also know that like another female, either this is sister or daughter. It's a very close relationship that was there too, waiting to cross her.
That's really lovely.
It is really.
It's a beautiful story, and you know, when you have the sentiment of what's happening at that time, but in terms of paranormal evidence, that, you know, to get something that clear.
Is there an A name associated with them?
I'm unsure, but I can definitely find out and get back to you for sure. Definitely.
Author or AR name. It doesn't have to be AR name around this person. So, oh wow, that's beautiful. That is good evidence.
Honestly, it was, when I saw that, I was like, oh yes, so satisfying.
me. It was like, oh my God, that's so beautiful.
You actually, I think on you guys see Ray's evidence. I think it's on his race of all your friends and him, or because he has his paranormal group RTL Paranormal.
Yeah.
They are excellent. They are my favorite team to work with.
Oh wow, yeah, I have to. I don't think I followed. That's terrible.
They are so good.
Sorry, Ray. Sorry, Ray. I know. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to.
I don't even see Ray.
And I'm not sure if he's in the comments. You have got some people here that are saying hello to you. One of the ladies actually said her name. She said she was with you on the investigation you was talking about. Yeah, sorry, lost it. Sorry. Debbie.
Debbie Emerson. Debbie Debbie got some really good evidence for us. She first time investigating, she's a natural. Freaking
that's
great.
amazing.
Yeah.
So tell us more about the things you want us to keep an eye out for, any ways that people can watch you, do your work, and tell us more about that.
I do this full time. I do readings full time, booked every day. I take off Fridays and Saturdays, but I had to fit a few in today. I do personal investigations. I do that for free too. Like I have people call me, I usually only do it like, if it's affecting children, if it's really bad. So I do that for free. And believe me, I've driven 4 hours to place, 4 hours back and forth, my own time and everything, but I will help people, if it's a really bad case. And then of course I work with Flamiri Promotions, with Ray. We love you, Ray, wherever you are. Big booger.
Me too.
Ray, they put on the best events. We just have a great time. It's always like, you have Mustafa, Daryl, Mike Diamond, Chris Sutton, Rob Demers. You'll see Rob Demers coming up in a few events. Our next event, first is May 21st and 22nd in Pennsylvania. It's going to be Mustafa and Daryl from Ghost Hunters and I hate Ray, I hate saying this, but the name of the place is Boobies.
That's the best.
Boobies.
That's the best.
Boobies. I'm like, sure, you're gonna send me to a place named Boobies. So I'll be there June 19th with Mustafa. So I'm really excited to go to this place. So
okay.
So we have a bunch of stuff coming up. We have Gettysburg Bash is coming up in August. You girls got to come to that.
I've said to Ray, I want to be there with bells on. So who knows? Hopefully next year I'll be able to come up and to come to one of the events. I would love that.
I know. We got to come to UK.
Well, I was just about to say, if you could investigate anywhere in the UK, where would you like to go?
I don't know. There's so many places, and I always get asked this, and I'm like, I don't know. I'll just go anywhere. Wherever you send me, I'm like, I'll go. Okay. Place. What do you suggest?
Oh, there's so many good places. Definitely Pendle Hill, because of obviously the Pluckley Woods in Kent. They're both really kind of notorious places to investigate. If you was to do,
with outside, because you don't know if you're picking up outside noises and if it's contaminating your evidence.
Well, this is it. There is some good locations that are indoors, but I'm very, you have 30 East Drive and places like that. But then again,
you're in tune with the earth, so you're very in tune.
Yes, I am. Yes,
with the earth. So I feel like you feed off that anyway. So like it's constantly giving you information.
Yeah, no, that is.
You are natural.
Thank you. Yes, for sure. And another place I want to go is Sybil Leek is actually from the UK. She was a medium and a witch that worked with Hans Holzer, and her shop is still a shop here in the UK. Yes.
And guess what? I didn't know she was a witch.
Yes, she was a witch. She was an amazing witch.
I read his
Kerry have adopted her as now a witch.
I read his books when I was a teenager. So 100 years ago, I look good, right? But yeah, I must have read that and I probably forgot. But like he had some really amazing, gifted mediums with him.
Yes, he did. And I mean, with Sybil Leek, we're going to be doing a show about her in a few weeks. But with Sybil Leek, she was absolutely amazing. She worked with she worked with the army. She was an informant. I know I'm giving too much away. So I was like, stop talking about her. But the best thing I found out about her was she used to. Honestly, but she used to fake astrology. She used to put out fake astrology to trick the Germans and stuff like that. So she used to do that for the government, and that's what she. Yeah. Oh.
But anyway, her life story is amazing as well. She had a really amazing life.
She did, and it was at a time where it was illegal to be a witch. We've only recently abolished the Witchcraft Act in the UK in the 50s.
1951.
Yeah, and she lived her life, and she was like, "I'm a witch, and this is who I am." And she did. Yeah, she lived her best life.
She was amazing. She was amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's some really great psychic mediums out there, really amazing.
Yeah.
I got, it's funny. I've never watched the Warrens, that documentary on them, but I recently did watch it. The other night, I was telling Ray, because Ray was in my dream, but I had a dream that I was in the Amityville house.
Oh wow!
The weird thing was I never had prophetic dreams ever. But in this dream, I was in one of the bedrooms and it was like salmon or pink with flowers all over. And this shadow appeared up on the wall and then it got bigger and it rushed me. And I jumped up and I said, holy shit, that was real. There is something there. I don't believe Ronnie DeFeo's story, but I do believe something is there. But I also believe people are going to feel that have some kind of abilities, or it's going to feed off of somebody that has abilities and make itself known. They always feed off of, they feed off of us, so that. But it's crazy, and that's where I want to go. But it's funny. So now I watched the Warren documentary. They interviewed two of the psychics, the original psychics that went there. And the one lady said how she saw a shadow that got bigger and it rushed her. And I said,
yes, that's right. Yeah.
So I didn't know this until after the dream. So I'm actually driving up there to go because I have to do a case. I have to do a residential case in Long Island. And so it's like a half hour from there. So I'm going to take a ride past there.
Yeah.
I want to see what I feel. I don't need to go in. I can do it all outside.
Yes. And it's had a little bit of cosmetic surgery since the Amityville haunting. Yeah. You've changed a little bit, haven't they? Changed the windows and stuff.
Yes, they changed the windows and they changed the dress. They changed the number.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
And they told people that they moved the house, but they didn't. They changed the number.
Oh, so sneaky.
So
squirrel.
Down the mouth.
Yeah, secret squirrel.
Listen, that house was for sale a few months back. I remember calling Ray. I'm like, Ray, how much money you got?
Yes. Oh, that would be amazing. So there's so many places that I would love to go to in America. New Orleans sings to my soul, literally sings to my soul. Yeah, so definitely there's loads of places that I would love to
though. I said, he says, oh, you gotta go. I said, it is too hot, my hair is gonna be curly. I hate sweating.
Yeah. No, okay, yeah. I'm a proper Celtic, so I'm ginger with freckles. So and the whitest of white skin, so I probably wouldn't fare too well there either.
Gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. It's so kind.
Oh no, you come here. Listen, we're gonna get together.
Yes, we are.
If we have to go to Louisiana, I'll go with you.
I would love that. That would be amazing. I'll be there with bells on. So we have about 6 minutes left. So how can everyone find you? Where they can find your events? How they can communicate with you and see what you're doing?
Well, don't die to communicate with me. First off,
wouldn't advise that.
They can go to intuitiveapril.com. Also my Facebook page, but I have my name. It's April Busset, the psychic housewife in New Jersey. Also FlamiriPromotions.com. That's with events for with Ray Savino. So you can see all the events, for all the guys, see where everyone's going to be, because we're not always together. So
No.
But
and then you can find them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You also have your own website as well.
yes, intuitiveapril.com. I'm Intuitive April on Instagram and Twitter.
And you're also on Paranormal Warehouse as well.
Oh my goodness, I forgot. It's
it's all right. I've got you. It's all right.
Girl, and I got to tell you, Daryl Morrison of Ghost Hunters is one of the owners of Paranormal Warehouse.
Yeah.
I read him, and that's how he brought me on. So, yeah, I'm on every other Tuesday. So this Tuesday, I'm going to be on 8 p.m. Eastern time. I hope to see you girls there.
Yes, we
that
will be
there.
there.
Yes, I do live readings. It's a lot of fun. It gets crazy. We have fun. We have drinks. We drink.
Sounds like my kind of party.
Fun.
Sounds like my kind of party.
Spirits and spirits.
That sounds cool.
I have something coming up, but I can't discuss it yet. It's a TV show, so as soon as I'm able to, yeah, I'll let you girls know. You can have
we'll be sharing it. Yes, definitely. We'd love to have you back to talk about that.
With ghosts and all that fun stuff going to, places. So
okay, brilliant.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I know I keep saying before we go, because there's so much I want to talk to you about, but I think it'd be really nice if we can end on maybe an encounter, or a time that really sticks out in your head.
So many. Well, I didn't get to tell you that thing, how this all started, where I also said the cases I do, the residentials, when it involves children seeing entities, the reason why that's very important to me that I do that for free and to help families and children, because when I was a child, I encountered, I don't even want to say the word demon, whatever it was not good. And I woke up to that, to a black figure with red eyes. And that thing tormented me throughout my whole life. It attached itself to me, and it would pop out of nowhere. It would yell in my ear. It was just, it attacked
for a child. That breaks my heart.
Yeah. So it was horrible. And I was finally, when I met my husband, because it used to go into my dreams too. It was horrible. It would go into my dreams and chase me, but it always changed its face. It would be somebody else. And at the end of the dream, when I get away from it, or I killed it, or I got away from it, not killed it, I never got away from it. All of a sudden, as soon as the dream was going to end, like one time I called the cops, and cops saved me. And as I was getting ready to get out of the dream and I got away from it, the cop turns around and smiles at me. The thing was the cop now. So next dream, I'll be in your next dream. So one day I had a dream, and it went after my husband. And I said, oh, no. So
hell no.
I killed it, and I never saw it again.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah. So it's crazy when that's for some reason these things like to go into my head. They get me while I'm sleeping. I protect myself. Some of them are strong. So you got to be careful. This isn't fun and games sometimes. You got to be careful.
And also with anything, if you don't understand it, then you're better off leaving it alone until you equip yourself with the tools you need to do the fundamentals, if anything. But knowledge is key, and it's always important to do your own
invite them.
Yeah.
Definitely that thing. Because I said ever since I had my daughter and I'm married, I do not engage with them, the bad ones. I just walk away from them. I'm like, oh, you have your issues. You do your thing. Like
your problem.
Not talking.
Yeah.
And I hope that little piece about Bernie or Bernard, helped you, or
it did. Thank you.
I'm glad that was for you. That makes sense. And is that the person's name?
Close, Barry.
Okay, all right. Because sometimes you can't hear, because I was walking and I'm like, what? Get out of here. I'm like,
yeah, no.
I'm outside by myself having a conversation, You know, but thank God I have my headphones in, so people think I'm talking to somebody on the phone.
Yeah, no, thank you. It does make sense.
Oh,
So I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Sure.
But
But
thank you. Go on.
I was to say it was a pleasure meeting you girls finally.
No, and same. I have been really excited about this interview, and I can't wait for the ones that we have come up as well, because I'm sure we'll touch base and yeah, when I'm back in Louisiana with you as well, living our best life. Yeah,
We'll bring
yeah, Ray for sure, definitely. Thank
Ray's
you.
great with equipment. You'll love him.
Oh, I already
Yeah,
messaged him about this piece and that piece, and what do I need to do? Yeah, he is a great source of information, and I can tell.
You love equipment and everything. You should have Brandon Alvis on.
I have been trying to get Ray on. He's he's not a fan.
Oh no, he's not, because I know he won't do. He's a little shy, but Brandon Alvis, ghost hunters.
Okay,
Every piece of equipment.
that would be amazing. We would love to have
And
him on the
he's
show.
got great evidence. It'll blow your mind.
I'll have to track him down and send him a message. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you for everyone that's joined us this evening. Our team members as well, Laura, Jess, and the ones and you know, the ones that have come to see April. Thank you so much for joining us. And we wish you a fantastic evening. Thank you. Good night. Good night, everyone.
Bye, everyone.